I might have just officially read the most craziest, insane comment that I've ever read in my whole life, and it's by this guy named FrankEast. Okay, so he was disagreeing with my views on these First Amendment YouTubers that they're Norma Bates psychos. Okay, he said, "I believe the price for freedom." This is what this guy said, Frank East, is that bad things sometimes have to happen. In other words, Rich, it sounds to me that you prioritize safety, which I do, of course, safety for me, my family, and for all of you, all of my fellow Americans. I want all of us to be, especially in our military, our police, I want us all to be safe. Okay, but Frankie says he feels the opposite. Frankie says bad things have to happen to protect our freedoms. It's almost like he's implying this. Now, maybe I'm wrong, okay? It's almost like he's implying the following. You get one of these First Amendment YouTubers who go to these government bases, and you know they're not, Frank, let's be realistic. You know they're not really going there to film the fighter jets and to film the helicopters. No, Frank, they're not really doing that. They're going there because they want YouTube views. They're going there because they're going right into the nest of very highly protected government facility, and they know they're going to be approached, and they know that there's going to be a confrontation, Frank. Okay? So this whole thing is all a big joke to get views on YouTube. So like when the officer comes to them, I mean, think about what's the big deal? Like, let's say your real intention, Frank, let's say your real intention is that you just want to film a documentary on the fighter jets, the helicopter. That's your only purpose. Your only purpose is to do that, right? Then why not comply? Why not just hear me out for a second. Put aside the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment. Your objective, your goal is to film, right, this government facility. You're on the public side, you're not on the private side, and you just want to film the jets, you want to film the helicopter, you want to make a documentary. What is the big deal if someone who works in this government facility, a government official or an officer approaches you, sir, may I see your ID? What is the big deal to just state your business? What is the big deal to say, here's my ID, here's my YouTube credentials, here's my YouTube channel, you know, I'm filming a documentary. Why not just cooperate? Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to let you, after they know who you are and they realize you're not a threat and that you're not an illegal immigrant or a terrorist or someone with very bad intentions, okay, they're going to let you proceed and film the fighter jets and film the helicopter and everything is going to be great, okay? But what Frank East is saying, no. He would rather tragedy happen. He would prefer, Frank East, to not give his ID, right? To not cooperate, to not state his business. Okay, so what happens now if what you're saying is true and correct? What happens when it's not an American citizen who's doing this? What happens if it's a terrorist? What happens if it's an illegal immigrant and they got their backpack on, you know, and they're filming, and they're up to some very, very evil things? Frank says he prefers that. So in other words, the officer approached this, let's say now this guy's not, again, I want to repeat, he's not an American citizen. The officer approaches him, he's at the government base, he's on the public side, may I see some ID? No. Why is that? Because I have the right to be here, it's public property. I know, but this is a very, very protected area. I mean, I don't know who you are, you're snooping around. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm not stating my business. I'm not showing you my ID. That's the end of it. Get out of my face, right? So, okay, after blah, 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 couple of minutes of this, let's say the officer or the government official complies because that's the First Amendment and that's the Fourth Amendment, even though he's not an American citizen, this guy. They leave. Next thing, a major, major tragedy happens where lives could be lost. You can live with yourself, Frank East. You can live with yourself simply just because of not handing an ID, simply just because not stating your business. You would rather see a tragedy happen. You are one sick mother effer. You need to go to church today. Pray to God for forgiveness for that comment that you just wrote. Seriously, you are a sick, twisted Norman Bates lunatic.